I'm hopping on live real quick. I've been working on corn and I figured I'd work with you all. We just picked all of our corn and dug up all of our potatoes today. And so I figured I'd sit and cut corn with you all. We're going to cut it and then we're going to freeze it. I'm going to do some here in my mother-in-law's house, and then whatever I don't finish, I'll do at our house. But anyways, I got some corn cobs soaking in some vinegar water just to make sure there ain't no bugs or anything in there. Then I'm got my cutting bad spots off on this and cutting the corn off the cob into the bowl. So we've got peaches and cream and Silver Queen. Silver Queen is our favorite, so I'm probably gonna save some Silver Queen back just for eating. So we got a big old bowl of it here. But I've got 1, 2, 3. Oh. And then this bowl is the one I'm working on right now. I'm putting my cobs over here. Y'all probably can't see that. And then here's the tomatoes I picked today. And we picked okra and summer squash and I don't know what else. But we got all the corn, and so we're working on cutting it. Can you all see me? I don't know if y'all can see. Like I said, I'm just soaking the corn in some water. Just make sure we get all the bugs out of it, and then I'm just cutting it off the cob. I don't know. I need to set this up where y'all can see me better. I don't have my stand. There we go. Okay. And I found the easiest way to do this is just cut it off into the bowl. And that way you can just have it in the bowl, and then when you go to freeze it, we use food saver bags and just regular gallon bags. We've got quite a few food saver bags, and so we're putting them in there until we run out of food saver bags. I just cut the spots off that's got like bug damage. We don't want to put like bug damaged corn in the freezer. And then I just cut as close to the cob as I can without getting the cob in it. It has been a very productive day in the garden. We all got in there and got a bunch done. I've got a video coming out, hopefully, and I'll show you, what all we've done today. But right now I'm working on the corn. I do too. I love corn. We grew 2 varieties this year. We grew Silver Queen and Peaches and Cream. Hey, how are you, Joe? We grew Silver Queen and Peaches and Cream, and Silver Queen is my favorite kind of corn. But Peaches and Cream gives you a little more. Well, I'll show you the difference. This is a smaller cob here, but as you can tell, it's got more kernels on it. This is a bigger cob than this, but it doesn't have as many kernels on it. They're smaller kernels, but our corn did really well this year. And so, although it might not look like a bunch to some people, it's pretty good for what it is for our small garden. Probably got about three, maybe a half of 5-gallon buckets worth of corn. I guess is the best way to, I don't know, maybe about 60 cobs. And that's not too bad. And if I've got time, I am going to try to make some corn cob jelly from the cobs. I've never made corn cob jelly before, but I'm gonna try it. I'll try it this year. Can you all hear me well? I don't have my stand up here right now, and I've just got you all sitting on the countertop. And I wanted to can corn this year, but I've just not been able to. just not been able to. I don't have, right now I've been doing so much canning, I've run out of lids. And so I gotta go get some more lids. And because of that, this corn needs processed today. And I don't feel like running to the store, so we're just gonna freeze it. Freezing it's not my favorite. I would rather can it. Oh, I'd rather have canned corn than frozen corn. But we gotta do what we gotta do. Has anybody on here ever made corn cob jelly? I learned about corn cob jelly on this channel. Somebody had commented before and said that corn cob jelly was really good. Actually, I think 2 people commented and said that corn cob jelly was really good, and it was something that I'd never tried. What I understand, you boil the cobs down, and then that's what you make your jelly out of. So I'm gonna guess you add sugar and pectin, things like that. But you say this. I'm doing good. How are you doing, Rebecca? I appreciate you asking. Thank you. Doing good. Working on corn. There's been quite a few people that's popped on and off here. How does everybody else like their corn? If you raise a garden, do you can your corn? Do you freeze your corn? What do you do? I know some people blanch their corn before they freeze it, and to be honest, I've tried it blanched and I've tried it without blanched. And where I'm not big on like frozen corn, which that's what I'm doing anyways, where I'm not big on frozen corn, I don't really like it. I can't really tell the difference between blanched or non-blanched. Although I feel like blanched makes it more mushy. And I'm not big on mushy corn. I like fresh corn that kind of like, when you eat it, it like pops. It's real soft and tender. But I don't really like hard or mushy kernels. I like them to be tender. I need to pour some more corn cobs in this sink. Like I said, I've been letting them soak in water before I've been cutting them off the cob. Letting them soak in some vinegar, some cool vinegar water. That way, whatever bugs are in there, they'll get out. They'll get out of the thing. And I'm trying to make sure our cobs are good and clean, full of silks, or without silks. Silks are inevitably going to get in there because, like, doesn't matter how many times you clean them, they just end up in there. But this is a good cob. I'm going to save this cob. I'm going to save this cob for eating tonight. Let me get another one that's not so pretty. This one ain't as pretty. Let me see, that one's full of silks. It needs to soak a little bit. Okay, here. Here's a little tiny one. But how's everybody else's day going? It's really hot and humid here right now. Really hot. We started digging up the potatoes, and it got really, really hot out there, like miserably hot, and it hit like all at one time. It's almost like the heat out there was like, you'd start, like we started and it was fine, and then all of a sudden it got real hot, and then it was like, almost makes you feel like you're running a fever. It gets so hot all at one time. We've been in a drought this year. I feel like maybe the drought's breaking, but I don't want to jinx it. But we've been in a pretty good drought. We've gotten some rain here and there, but nothing really to amount to nothing. And nothing to really keep the garden going. Our garden, we were blessed with how well the garden did this year, but I feel like our garden would have done a lot better if we wouldn't have been in a drought. We didn't do very well with our green beans this year, and I think it was just drought. I think it was where it was so dry. We could have done better in some other things too, but this year we've done pretty good with our corn, done pretty good with our tomatoes. Potato crop wasn't as good this year, but I keep telling myself that you can't have it all. Like, your garden's not going to be fantastic every year. And so some things are just going to do better than others. But corn was a big blessing this year because it's something that we have not been able to grow well. But this was our first year growing corn well, and it was nice to be able to have. It's a blessing to be able to have this. In years past, we've had to just buy corn from local farmers. And so this year, it's pretty neat that we can put up our own corn and be able to raise enough corn that we can eat. We can eat it throughout the winter. I think as much as we eat corn, which is not very often in the wintertime, I think that we'll be able to cut it pretty close to being able to, to have enough corn. They're coming in and watching the TV, so if you hear it in the background, that's what it is. They can turn it down.
He is.
They had it to the umpteenth degree in there. Which I'm not going to tell them not to watch TV because I'm on live. I mean, we got a live around here. So, anywho, we're getting this corn cut. Speaking of that, since I was talking about corn cob jelly, does anybody have a corn cob jelly recipe that they prefer over other ones? Because I've not even looked at a corn cob recipe before. I just heard people talking about it. So it would be neat to see what everybody's favorite is. See, this still got quite a few silks on it. And like I said, I'm just cutting as close to the corn cob as I can without getting the actual cob inside the corn. Because nobody wants to bite into a piece of corn that's got a big old chunk of cob in it. Well, I thought a few more people would hop on this live, and since they've come in now and they're wanting to relax and watch TV, I guess I'm going to hop off here. But I appreciate everybody that's hopped on, and I enjoyed chit-chatting with everybody. Appreciate the comments, and appreciate everybody that's watched. Everybody that's going to watch this after I get off of it. But thank you all so much for the support. It means a bunch. And so when if I don't finish the corn tonight, maybe this evening when we get home, they're going out coon hunting tonight, so I'll have the house to myself, and I might get back on live. But appreciate you watching.